traders, Gary Wagner here just after 10 o'clock in Honolulu, 4 o'clock in New York on Monday, July 20th, 2015. And this is the daily report for gold and silver. And what a day to report on gold and silver, specifically gold, literally falling out of bed, hitting a low today of about 1080. As you know, we were looking for the market to go to about 1083. We have an intraday low of 1080, currently off about $30 on the day, 1101.40, high 1132. When you consider that, we've got a $52 range in the marketplace today. Incredible moves. We're going to talk about that. The potential for actually having exhausted our completed wave count and going into some sort of an ABC. In other words, are we going to get that upside bounce, or can we see this market continue under pressure? We'll talk about all of this on today's daily report. Silver, on the other hand, is off, but off about 1.69%, 1466. It has had a low of 1449. We projected a low of about 1450. So numbers have come in on both of the markets that we follow. 1498 in terms of the high, currently 66.5. As I said, it is off about 17 cents on the day. More on silver in a little bit. So traders, as you can see, we are recording, as I said, roughly it's about 10 minutes after the hour right now. Gold futures just breaking back below $1,100 per ounce. This is COMEX. We're going to move over into our spot market because that's going to give us a much more realistic view. You've got a lot more action going on in the spot market as we go into some of the overseas trading, but we're coming up on the break of the day. Let's first take a look at the activity. And my God, we have had this market substantially drop. This kind of a drop in the market, I don't remember the last time we've had it. I remember $50 up days, but not necessarily $50 down days. You've got some pretty significant days here, but when you consider the kind of drop we had, this market really sold off like a rocket. So traders, I want to put today's market move, currently trading at 97, so we've broken hard back below 1100, but I want to put this into some sort of perspective in terms of where this market go. As you know, I'm on record as looking at a potential low at about 83. We hit 80 this morning. We're currently trading at 97. Now, when I put a basic horizontal trend line, it's just a horizontal line in which we can go in and plot the last time we've hit that low. You can see that we have not seen this low since just about the beginning of 2010. And that was after the market had fallen hard to about 700. And then this is that tremendous rally from 700 to 1900. During that rally, though, we had peaks and valleys. So the market came up and it tested, I think this was about 1250. And then it came down and tested, I think this was about 1065, if I recall, because this is when in February 2010, George Soros just entered the market right in here, and then we saw the market really fly. So where are we at in terms of this marketplace? We're going to watch it closely. As I said, I would look to either short rallies. However, we do have another potential play, and that's that bounce up, because we want to see if the market continues to slide. We've got this 1065 area that we hit, and that's where the bounce came in. We're at 1096 right now, so we're not that far off of it. 30 points in the big picture is not all that much. And then what we would look for is this is completing our fifth wave down. In other words, we had that long count, that 5 count that came down, terminated here, and from there we would go into some sort of an A, B, C progression. And that would be an ABC on a bear count, which would take us, it'd be a counter wave to the upside. And we would plot that. We're not there yet, but this kind of a move is the kind of move that is significant. It's also the kind of move that we can definitely capitalize and put out a trade recommendation this week. But I want to make sure at what point this market will find some support, if it's just going to barrel through, if we're going to go to much lower pricing, or if we actually have a chance of holding in this particular area, which is about 1065. So traders, as I said, this is an incredible market, and there's going to be some real opportunity, I believe, this week. Now, when we look at our current count, this being our interim count, and we're going to start this completing our wave 3 here, our wave 4 here, and the question is, when will we complete our wave 5? Have we completed it? As you know, I said that we could see this market go as low as about 83. We've hit that low at about 80, and when we look at this subcount, you get a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then as you can see right here, 5 out of 5. We would need to see some sort of confirmation in this area that we've gotten a basic market that has grounded itself, that has formed a base, and now will begin to move back up. With all of the fundamental data out there, we could see this market head lower. Of course, we've got a strong dollar, lower oil, and a real strong potential for the beginning of interest rate hikes as early as possibly September. So all of those things are working in terms of the bear camp. In the bull camp, we have uncertainty in Greece, although they've reached an agreement. I believe Wednesday they've got to come up with another set of proposals, and they're still working out the details on that. So we don't really know how that will pan out, except for the time being, banks are back open in Greece. And we'll have to see how that pans out. But it has hit our numbers. That's the first thing we wanted to see. Now, obviously, the second thing we need to see is confirmation that we've gotten some sort of a bottom. We're at the numbers that we would look at for a bottom. Now we have to see a candlestick pattern develop, basic a V or a what we tend to call a pivot point or a key reversal pattern. That would signal that. And also we want to take a look at where this is in terms of a basic Fibonacci retracement. But I'm sure that that's going to line up anyways, because that's part and parcel of where that 1083 number came from. So as I said, traders, I think we're going to have a real opportunity here. We've got to see if this market, in fact, finds support and we get that bounce. We could have completed this bear count down and therefore go into some sort of an ABC correction. Even if the overall tendency of the market is still bearish, we'll get that bounce we talked about. If not, and it continues to drift lower, we'll know, because it's going to not find any kind of support in this area and give us either bearish continuation patterns or bearish sell signal patterns. So this is a critical week in which we want to watch this market almost 24/7, so to speak, and act accordingly as soon as we get definitive information that lets us know whether or not we found a bottom here and this is concluded and it's time to get in from the long side, or if it's just going to continue to drop and a sell signal will be issued. So traders, what about silver? Also under pressure, down almost 20 cents on the day. 1465. As you know, we had pegged a low that we were really looking for in this particular market at around 1450. If we look at our current Elliott wave count, that's projecting a low of at around 14, and that would conclude this being wave 4. That would conclude that and take us into our 5th wave down in a very similar manner in terms of our current count to gold. So traders, I've pulled up our chart that we've been really using for some of our projections, and I've got a Elliott wave extension in here now. This is using a 720-minute chart, and these are the numbers that we come up with when we do that. Of course, what we're trying to do is do a baseline of a wave 1 baseline and then project or extend that down. When we do that, our first mark was wave 1 equals wave 5, and that was obviously not the case. It barreled through that. That was the 1516. We've got a couple other numbers, which is the most important one, I believe, is 1.61%. Of course, that's our fib base number, and that's where I think we could see this market go to. And so my new downside target or projection on silver is 1438 to conclude this final wave down. This count, of course, being a wave 3 down, wave 1 and 2, this being a long wave 3 on a 720-minute chart, much more short-term study. But what we're looking at in terms of a downside projection, worst case scenario, about 1438. This has been Gary Wagner wishing you, as always, good trading. We will talk to you tomorrow for another daily update and review. Bye-bye.